You know, there's nothing like being in the green room. It's my place to be because it's behind the scenes. And it's really where the magic happens. So let me step back. You all have Jules' bio. I'm sure you've already Googled her. Some of you know who she is, but let me take a moment and ask her, who is Jules? And more importantly, what are you up to these days?
Thank you so much, Shay, for introducing me like that. What is Jules Brooke? I'm the founder of Handle Your Own PR, which is a platform that I've built for small business owners to get publicity. And I'm also the host of She's the Boss, which is a YouTube channel and a podcast.
Now, where are you broadcasting in? For those folks that are hearing your accent, they're trying to figure out, they don't know who you are. I know you think the world knows who you are. I get it. But somebody might not know where you are and say, Shay, where is she broadcasting? And she got this pink hair. She has this green. She has this colors. Where is this woman at?
This woman is in Melbourne in Australia, where it is now Friday. So I can tell you all that Friday is a really lovely sunny day. So it's Friday lunchtime, and and I'm from sunny Australia. Although I have to say I'm down the south of Australia where it's quite chilly. We're getting into winter already.
Well, thank you so much for broadcasting in from Australia. We really appreciate that. And I'm curious, you have this thing that you mentioned, the She's Boss. And some folks are wondering, Shay, what is the She's Boss? So can you take a moment and tell us the mission, goals, and objectives so we kind of understand?
So She's the Boss kind of came out of COVID for me last year. I, as a female founder myself, am really passionate about putting the spotlight on incredible female entrepreneurs, really. In Australia, we hardly ever hear about them. And so I started interviewing them. I had a little TV show on a network called Ticker TV. Then I brought it onto YouTube, and I interview incredible female founders from around the world about their entrepreneurial journey and how in heaven's name they've got to where they've got to, really from their school days through to now.
And, I'm curious, what do you enjoy most about it? I mean, it's needed. Women rock. Women are the bedrock of our society. They make decisions. They make things happen. You can tell I'm a married man, right? Y'all can all tell. And so I'm all for female power. Rock it out. But take a moment and talk about what you enjoy most about it, and the impact that it's having. Because there's probably a little girl out there that's watching right now. There might be a big girl that's out there watching right now, and someone's like, "Wow, she just decided she's going to just do this, and she did it." So just take a moment and kind of talk about it.
Okay, so what do I love the most? I am so nosy. I'm sure you feel a bit the same way, Shay. I love talking to people. I love hearing their stories. I also feel that there's a lot of opportunities to go and share your expertise, but there aren't a lot of opportunities to tell your story of how you got to where you got to. So that's what I'm really loving. In terms of the impact, I've actually got a big, hairy, audacious goal, which is that I intend before the end of this year to start a global TV network for women in business. But in the meantime, what I want to do is show young girls and young women that there are incredible role models out there, and that you don't have to be somebody who's made a $2 billion buyout in order to be amazing and get your name out there in the media. So really, it's about shining the spotlight on female founders and women doing extraordinary things in business.
Well, you're doing some extraordinary things. Not only are you spotlighting on other folks, but you're also providing a platform that allows folks to get the resources that are necessary, and it's all over the world. So I'm excited for those folks that are out there. Don't worry. We'll get on the other side. We'll learn more about She's the Boss. We'll learn a little more about this media thing that's out there right now. Yes, and don't worry, we get on the other side. I'm going to ask her backstory. I'm going to ask her the origins. Did she just wake up one morning and say, bam, I'm going to have my own show? Or what is the backstory? We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a show. We're going to get ready to go in 5. Y'all know it's my favorite part. 4, 3, 2. I can't wait. 1, we'll see you on the other side. I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I like to always share 3 visions when we start off, because I believe you have 3 visions. I believe first, you have a vision for yourself. There's a certain home that you want to be in, and you wanted to have books like you're seeing behind there, right? And you want to have lights and air conditioning, and it takes resources. That means you need some revenue to make that a reality. And then there's a second vision I believe you have. You have a vision for the people that you love, the loved ones. You know, the kids you want to send to a college or a school of your choice. Some of you want to write a check for a cause you believe in, or just write a check for someone's health care insurance and make sure they're okay. Or maybe like me, Mother Dear is 73 years old. She's still around. She loves Amazon. Over the last 12 months, she's like a master Amazon shopper. Loves it. That credit card is connected to my account, just to let you guys know, by the way. And so she's really good at it. But I love doing it. And then I think there's a third vision you have. I believe you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. And I like to always share the story of Noah in the Bible. And you don't have to be a believer, although I am a believer, but you don't have to be when to get the point. But imagine you're Noah in the Bible. And imagine you're ready to get going. You're on this journey, and God's giving you all the experience, just like some of you. He's giving you all the expertise, just like some of you. And right before Noah's to get going, imagine there's a knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. And someone says, yo, Noah. They did say yo back in the day. I want y'all to know that. There's a problem. There's no hammer in the house. Noah says, no problem. There's always challenges. No big deal. And someone says, Shorty! They did say Shorty back in the day. I want y'all to know that. Just Shorty over here, Shorty. Yeah, look, I wanted you to know there ain't no nails either, okay? No hammer, no nails. Rule number 1 is I never panic. Some of you have some challenges. And if someone's in the back saying, Noah, me, back here, jumping up and down, me. What is it? Noah, there's no wood, and there's no people to put the boat together. Good luck on this mission. And maybe that's you. You've got a big heart. You're ready to get your business going, but there's no media, there's no attention. And this morning, this evening, this afternoon, no matter what time it is for you, Jules Brooke showed up for one reason and one reason only, and that is to help you build your media. What's going on, Jules? How are you?
I am so well, Shane. What an amazing introduction. That was fabulous. And I feel like a very happy entrepreneur myself.
Well, you know, let's just address the elephant in the room if we can, because you have this big bold claim that you can get media and whatever media is. So can you take a moment and define, number 1, what is media? Is it still called social media, or can we just call it media? So here's the question. What's one of the biggest challenges facing entrepreneurs today just getting into this whole media realm?
Okay, so the first thing is that you need to know that I'm talking about mainstream media. So I'm talking about magazines and newspapers, blogs, podcasts, well, as in they're almost mainstream, but really, and television and radio. So it's about getting in the free media. And the biggest mistake that I see people making, and it's totally unintentional, because logically, if you're promoting something, you would think that you need to talk about it a lot. But the reality is that most people, when they try their hand at doing their own PR, tend to be way too commercial. It looks like an ad. It doesn't look like a story. And I guess the best tip I can give anyone is, if you want to get publicity and you're not sure about the best way to do it, then the easiest way to almost guarantee it is to offer some advice. Tell people how they can avoid making mistakes. Tell people some of the tips that you've learned about your industry. tell people how to choose something that's good or how to, keep something that's good. It's about offering advice. And the biggest thing that I can say is remember, and I'm going to be a bit brutal, but I am a bit brutal anyway. I'm very down to earth. Nobody is really interested in your business. Nobody really cares about what your business does or what the processes are. They care about themselves. So your PR has to help somebody else. It has to be about helping people, and that's when the media will pick it up.
Folks are probably wondering, Shay, what is Jules' backstory, or what's the origin? Like, what was the defining moment that she said to herself, I'm going to really master this media piece and I'm going to help other entrepreneurs master it? She could have kept the secret to herself, but no, that's not what she's doing. In this whole self-education industry, she says, I'm an educator and I'm going to educate folks. So I guess my question is, what's the origin that led you to that defining moment to take you to where you are now?
Okay. There's a couple of parts to this. The first thing is I fell into PR. So I had a graphic design business and I met a guy in Australia who's quite a famous comedian at a party, and he thought I did PR because I was there with someone, and he rang me about 3 weeks later and said, Jules, they're bringing out a best of Con the Fruiterer DVD. That was the character that he used to be on television. And I've told them that you're the best person to do the PR. And I had never done PR in my life before. And I really needed the money. I had a very young child, so I needed the money. So I rang all my friends who were in PR and said, how about you do it? I'll front with the client and you can do the work and we'll split the fee. And they all said, no, Jules, give it a go. So the first thing about how I'm doing what I'm doing is that I fell in.
I think it might have stopped for just a second, so we're going to see. Let me just check here. I think we may have lost her for a second. Don't worry. Rule number one, ladies and gentlemen, is we never panic. That's always rule number one. Rule number one, don't panic. So we're going to take a moment and see if she pops right back in. Let me see if we lost her for a second. Let's just see. I think it might have froze. Uh-oh. So let me hold on one moment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to reach right back out to her and see if I can bring her right back in. All right. We had lost you for a second or two there. You was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you are. It's no worries, ladies and gentlemen. Rule number one. I told you don't panic. Rule number one. No, I didn't panic. Did I look like I was panicking? No, I didn't panic. And now she's back. So you were just starting and you was getting started, and then we lost you as soon as you said. And so there's a couple of parts to this. And then I met this comedian, and then we were going to do this deal, and then we kind of lost you at that point.
Okay, great. So what happened from that was that stupid technology, I taught myself how to do PR. And I built up an agency. And then when the GFC hit, so the global financial, can't even remember what that, I just want to say catastrophe. But anyway, when it hit, all our clients started peeling off because they couldn't afford PR and it wasn't the top of their list, unfortunately. And I just had this moment where I thought, you know what? There are all these incredible businesses and people doing amazing things. And on the other side, we've got the media that so desperately needs content. I don't think most people realize how badly the media needs people to pitch ideas to them in order to be able to run those stories. They don't often go out and look for the stories. They wait for them to come to them. And so I just thought, why don't I actually take myself out of the equation and just teach them how to go directly to the journalists? And I think that was a really big moment for me. And the journalists then started saying to me, we want to talk to business owners. So even if you do pay a PR agency to do your PR, in most cases, they're going to need you to help write the articles. And then they're going to introduce you to the journalist once they've got a journalist that's interested. So in the end, the journalist wants to talk to the business owner anyway. So that was one part of it. And the other little bit is that for a lot of entrepreneurs, particularly in the early days, you don't have a lot of money for marketing, and PR is free. Once you learn how to do it, you don't pay the journalists to do the stories. So I guess that was a big part of my motivation.
You know, I love how you framed that, and you said it about 6 times, which was, it's a story component to it, ladies and gentlemen. There's a story component to it, ladies and gentlemen. There's a story component to it, ladies and gentlemen. And then you shared the story. And, you know, for folks that are saying, wow, like I tell my story all the time, Shay, is there one idea that she can share, maybe 2 ideas that she can share when you're trying to tell your story? Because my story is so broad, everybody. I can hear someone saying that. I got so much to tell. I can't do it all that fast. I got so much. I got a whole lifetime. And I don't know, because this is not what I do, but you may be thinking on the other side as well. Like, well, Shay, what's one idea that she would share, or 2 ideas she'll share with us that help us kind of maybe frame our story? Where do we start, and what's most important in the story? So the question is, where do we start for our story, and what's most important in there?
Okay, so one really good trick, if you're not sure where to start, is think about if you go out socially to a party or a barbecue or whatever, and somebody says, and you will find, sorry, not somebody, you will find that there are the same questions that keep being asked of you. So for instance, with me, people go, what is PR? They might say, how do you do it? And they might say, is it hard to get on television? Now, I know that those are the questions that everybody keeps asking me. So what is a really good tip is turn those questions into headlines and write the answer and then send it out to the media. So, for instance, if people say to me, what is PR? I might write an article that says what PR is and why people should be doing it, for instance. But that's a really good trick, because all of us get very, very close to our own businesses and our own industries, and we don't realize that we have become experts at something that nobody else knows about. So what I want you to do is showcase your expertise. Tell people things they don't know. Help them do whatever it is that they need to do to get ahead in business or in life. And if your business or you can help them, that is a really good place to start.
Do you also share, and we're behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, for those folks that are out there, do me a favor, hit the share button. It's okay. We want you to pay this message forward. We believe in the giver's economy. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. The person outgives the competition out-earns the competition. So take your 2 thumbs and hit the share button.
Share.
You can do that. Hit the share button. There's no credit card needed, no Cash App payment, no Zelle payments, no PayPals. Or you can just hit the button on your computer and just pay it forward. Help another entrepreneur out there that not only wants folks to know who they are, but how they serve, how they solve a problem. Because you are, as an entrepreneur, you're the Tylenol for someone's headache right now. And it's there. It can happen. Take a moment, if you would, as you just talked about the story, you talked about the importance of it. What do you say to the person that says, hey, I got my shot? Like, I was on a TV show. Like, they did a little segment on me. I got in there. Or I finally got into the little magazine. Or more importantly, I'm on a talk show. Like, I'm on a show. Like, maybe they'll be on The She's Boss if they qualify. What would you recommend that I do when they say, send me some questions? And here's how to introduce me. And what do you recommend that I do now that I'm getting my big shot?
Okay, so 2 things. The first thing is to remember that PR is an amazing form of marketing, because getting the shot is only the beginning. It's what you can do with that clip afterwards that is really, really powerful. But what would I do? Okay, for the questions, look, in Australia anyway, you don't often get asked to provide the questions. The journalist will nearly always ask it. But if you were going to, then you might do some bullet points of 3 questions that you'd like to be asked. In terms of your bio, you want to make sure that, and I would say this to anybody who's doing PR, make sure that you write your story down. Because if you're on radio or on a podcast or on TV, they're going to want your backstory. They're going to want to know other things about you that they can use to ask you questions if they run out of the sort of obvious ones. So you want to have a short bio. You want to have, the other thing, if you manage to get on television, would be, have you got any footage on YouTube or anywhere else of you doing what you do? Because often, in the same way that I'm talking on the camera now, what they'll do on TV is they'll show footage of you doing something or working with your customers or whatever, and then the voice just keeps going over as a voiceover. So if you have that footage, then definitely offer that as well. And other than that, I would just say relax and go for it. Just go with the ride. Every single article that you get, every interview that you get is adding to your expertise. It's adding to Google searches. It's adding to SEO. So the other big thing is don't turn things down. If you get an opportunity, always take it, because it doesn't matter how small that media outlet is. It's building. It's all adding and building to your profile.
Said so well. Now you have She's the Boss, and
Yes.
it's one of the TV shows you're doing. And when someone is trying to get on the show, give us the other side. Like, what do you look for? And we're going to bring it local. So she talked about big media, and that's so important. TV, print media is something that she's totally focused on. But then I know a number of you out there are dualpreneurs. That means you worked all day for your number one client, and then you come home and work all evening for your business as well. And you're like, wow, what does she look for if I'm trying to apply? Because I'm seeing podcasts, I'm seeing shows. So what does she look for when she's trying to determine who could be a guest on her show? So take a moment and give them some advice on how they should submit just to be on a podcast or a show. And they're not sure if it's big or small, but they want to be a part of it.
Okay, so look, what I look for is that I'm working with female founders. So I'm looking for women who are trying to disrupt industries, who are trying to make real change in the world. So I'm looking for women that think really big or that have been incredibly successful. That's for my YouTube show. For my TV, for my podcast, I'm looking for smaller businesses, but women who are up for sharing their story. And I obviously really love it if people have a very interesting backstory. And what in terms of approaching any other kind of media, you just need to really kind of understand who their audience is. And to do that, you can go and Google them. They will normally say this is a newspaper for these kind of people, or this is a magazine for these kind of people, and then pitch to their audience, as in that's the kind of people that you want to go to. For those people that are doing business, maybe they're a duopreneur, as Shay was saying, one of the things that I would also encourage you is if you are writing a newsletter, or if you're writing articles for LinkedIn, or you're writing articles for your blog, consider turning those articles into media pitches and pitch it to a media outlet first. Because if you can get your blog into a magazine or a newspaper, then it gives you something else that you will be able to have on your website, traffic coming to you because people have read about, the article in the media, or they've seen the article, or they've seen the interview and they've got on. So don't always produce content for your own social channels. Consider sending them out to the mainstream media first. If they don't pick it up, then you can use it again in your own channels, but you might find they pick it up, which will really kind of amplify everything that you're doing.
I love what you're doing, because at the end of the day, it's all about how do you scale your business? How do you reach more people? And the fastest, easiest way to do that is through the power of these fiber optic lines, which we're doing right now, that brings us all together in a social distancing world. We're now being connected through these fiber optic lines. It's kind of oxymoron, isn't it? But at the exact same time, I'm going to ask her about collaboration and what she looks for when, as one podcast host, and she has a TV show, when you're looking to collaborate and partner with other folks, what do you look for, and what you look for in a collaboration? Because like you said, one of the ways some folks may be able to build that is they know other folks who have shows and have podcasts and have blogs, and they're trying to partner with them. So not only are they trying to be inside or be a featured guest, but they're trying to partner so they can share networks and share communities. I guess in the spirit of collaboration, what is your advice for folks that are looking to collaborate? What should you look for, and what should you give when you come to the table?
Good question. I love collaborations, by the way. I think that they are so powerful, and for entrepreneurs, I just think they are really a gift that can keep on giving. So what do I personally look for? Well, I'm always going to be looking for somebody that has a similar audience to me. If they want to get to female founders, or they want to get to people interested in female founders, then already I'm interested. In terms of collaborations, I think you want to see what's a bit of a win-win for everyone. For me, my big goal at the moment is to get more eyeballs onto the content that I'm producing. So I'm going to be very interested in somebody who's got a big audience and is looking for content. But it really just depends on what the organisation is and how they think I can add value to them as well. Because, of course, I can interview them and I can push it out there. But are there other things that we can do as well? For instance, I have collaborated in Australia with an organisation called One Roof, which is a co-working space for female founders that then went online when we all got locked down. And is perfect because we both share exactly the same kind of audience. And the other thing that I would say to any entrepreneur in terms of collaborations is be generous, think outside the square. Don't try and feel that people are competing with you. I think that's the big thing that I like. You can either look at competition as competition and stay away from them, or you can look at competition as an opportunity to collaborate and reach out to them and see what you can do together. So I've always been a huge fan of reaching out to people who are in the same industry and see what we can do together to amplify what both of us are doing.
You know, one thing I want all you to do as she's speaking right now is go ahead and hit the share button. Like hit the share button. Talk about collaborating. Pay this message forward. Hit the share button. Doesn't cost you anything. If you hit the share button before, or you got to copy the link, you can paste it into your social media, and someone else can hear this message. Someone else can be blessed, and someone else can be helped along this journey. One of our 12 rules for life, and we have 12 rules, but one of our 12 rules for life is collaboration crushes competition. Collaboration crushes competition. She's a big collaborator on the other side. We're moving into a segment now called Today is My January 1st. It's one of our core methodologies. It's one of our core beliefs. I think everyone should have beliefs that they stand on, but one of ours is today is my January 1st. For those that know what I'm about to do, you can look right below the video, and you can write those words. Today is my January 1st. And for those that are curious, like, what is he talking about? Today is my January 1st? Well, today is my January 1st represents one of those days on the calendar that we don't wait for January the 1st. We create a January 1st moment anytime we make a decision. And there's probably 1,000 decisions throughout the day. And that decision could forever change the trajectory of your life. You make a decision that you're going to work out. That's a January 1st moment. Remember that New Year's resolution? Or you make a decision, you're going to eat hamburgers and French fries and ketchup with salt, pepper. And my sons want some hot sauce. That's a January 1st moment. You make a decision that you're going to open up the refrigerator and get some kale. Tastes good, doesn't it? Some broccoli. That's even better. Some Brussels sprouts. Yes, that's a January 1st moment. So today is my January 1st is a fresh start. It's a do-over. It means my past no longer equals my future. My question to Jules is when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what goes through your mind? What are you thinking now?
The first thing that I would be thinking is first day of the year, time to get some publicity. Time to write some sort of story or article and get it into the media. That would be my first idea for January the 1st. That's it.
I love it. Today is my January 1st, said so well.
That's right. Get something out.
For those folks that are listening that are wondering, how can they, might be one of two questions. What type of clients does your firm even work with, if you work with any clients these days? And number two, how can they best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation over and beyond where we are right now?
Oh, thank you, Shay. Look, I'm really into LinkedIn. In fact, LinkedIn has become my new Facebook, so I'm all over LinkedIn. You'll always be able to get hold of me there. I also have the handleyourownpr.com.au website. So that way I can coach people overseas, but I don't have the media contacts. I can just teach you how to find them overseas or in America. And the other way to get hold of me is through She's the Boss. So my YouTube channel is She's the Boss with a pink logo and a photo of me with my pink hair. My podcast is called She's the Boss Chats, and it is on every platform that you can think of. And then I have a website at she'stheboss.com.au. Actually, as I'm saying all of this, I'm realizing I need to move to .com. But anyway, .com.au, where you can find me. And I'm more than happy. I'm always up for chatting with any entrepreneur about anything to do with publicity or empowering women in business, and my whole mission is to empower the women around you, to lift everyone up so that we're all on a level playing field. And I feel that very much about entrepreneurs as well.
I love what you're doing.
Sex, I should say.
I love what you're doing. I love your heart to give. I love your heart to serve. We're moving to a segment now called Rapid Fire. And Rapid Fires, we get to ask any question that's on our mind, and you could answer it or you could certainly pass. But one of the questions that I love to ask is that of all the mentors you had along this journey of life, and you've had so many mentors along this journey, what's one mentor or one lesson you've learned from any of the mentors that you're going to share with us, that you're going to just pass that on to us?
Okay, I'm going to give you the one thing that it was actually a boss of mine when I was about 20, and I'm now over 50, so it's a while ago. But I absolutely love it, and I have used it ever since. And it is opportunities happen when you let go. So it's about embracing change. It's about saying if something's not working, let it go, move on.
Mm-hmm. I think we got it to stick for a second there. Let's give it a second and see what's going on. Sometimes this things happens, ladies and gentlemen, with the internet. Sometimes it freezes and those things happen. So we're going to give it a second for those folks that are out there. She's starting to share in just a second of the lessons she learned from her mentor. And I think as she was there, I think we may have lost her, but we're going to give it a second and then let her pop directly right back in. There you go. We lost you. As soon as you was getting excited, which is really good. You was moving around and you're getting excited. All of a sudden, you was like, and he taught me to let it go. And then you were gone. And I said,
oh, my God.
I said, I promise she didn't let it go. I promise she didn't tell her to hang up. I promise y'all, ladies and gentlemen, you know, sometimes them gremlins are up there, by the way, and it does happen. So that's the last thing we heard. Then I put it on me, by the way. And so they heard, someone said, let it go. And then you were gone.
Okay, so that sounds very Frozen of me, really, doesn't it? Considering I froze as well. But that was the thing. It was opportunities happen when you let go. And that is, I guess, I've heard it in a few different ways, but it is all about making room for something new to come into your life, or for new customers to come in, or for new whatever. So I love change. I'm a big fan of it. And I do think that when you let go of some things, you make space for other things to come in.
You know, I love it. You play full out. I love it. I don't know how you stay focused, but you do an amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. This is like real stuff. I'm happening here, by the way. But she's there. She's present. She's in the moment. Now they're looking behind you and like, Shay, she's in front of all those books. Like all those books. One, has she read those books? And number two, is there any one book on there that she's like, it's unfair. This is a really unfair question. Then she's like, gosh, Shay, this library behind me, here's one book that's had impact. They all had impact, I'm sure. But, you know, two questions. Number one, are those your books behind you? And number two,
These are some of.
Huh?
Okay, these are some of my books. I've got about 3,000. I never throw books away. I love reading. What would be but in terms of the book that has really made an impact with me, you know, the one that's made the biggest impact, and I read it years ago, and it is very old, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's still, I think it's Robert Kiyosaki. It is still really, really relevant to me. It's all about how to generate passive income and how to think like a rich person in order to look at what you're building in a slightly different way. But I've always thought that was a really powerful book, and it's one I've remembered forever.
Oh, man, you are amazing. You're really incredible. I love it. What do you do for fun? Like, we're not out saving the world, interviewing people. What do you do for fun?
Read. Well, I love reading. I love movies. And I'm really sociable. I just love going out and meeting new people all the time. So what I do on my TV show and my podcast is what I would do anyway, because I love it.
Wow, I can tell. Big smile on your face. Thank you so much. First, let me second the last question as we're coming down the home stretch, is that when you look back and you look forward, and what's on the horizon for you? What's next for you? For those folks like, wow, Shay, she's done so much and she's doing things like, what's next for her over the next 6 to 12 months that she's got to really get amped up for to make sure she makes it happen? What's on her horizon?
Okay. My big one, and I'm capital raising for it at the moment, is to start a TV network with female hosts that focuses on women in business. So I hope to have that up before the end of this year, and then I will be looking for content from people in the US and the UK and all over the place. And the other thing that I would really like to do is I used to have Handle Your Own PR in America. If I can find a partner, if there's any entrepreneurs out there that are into PR and want to partner with me, I'd like to get Handle Your Own PR as a global brand again. I've done it before, wasn't quite right. Now I've built a PR SaaS platform. I think we're ready to go global again. So those are the two things that I'd like to achieve before the end of the year.
I love it. I love it. Let me go ahead and say first, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We certainly appreciate you. Got to have you back. I want to turn over to you to kind of do two things. Once again, share with folks how they can best connect with you and share your final thoughts or comments. Again, we appreciate you. Thanks for broadcasting in, and thanks for being here. You're a rock star.
You are too. I'm so thrilled to have been asked all the way from Australia. It's brilliant. So anyone can get hold of me, Jules Brooke, on LinkedIn, or go to handleyourownpr.com.au or she'stheboss.com.au and you'll find me. I can't remember the other question, Shay. So it was
just your final thoughts for folks that are out there as we get ready to close out. What are your final thoughts as we get ready to sign off?
My final thought is you all deserve the spotlight on you. You all are doing amazing things with your businesses. Go out and get that spotlight. My challenge to you is ring a radio station or your local paper, tell them a story idea and see if they pick it up. I reckon you'll get an interview or an article. So that's my last challenge to you all.
I love it. With that being said, let me say thanks all you for watching. Make sure you hit the share button, pay this message forward. I want you to know as you're listening and watching that you're a champion, that you're already a winner. And as you're listening, today is your January 1st. You can use media to promote your business, and Jules laid out the case that today is your January 1st. Someone wants to hear your story, and someone wants you to help them with your expertise achieve their goals faster with less stress. And for you, as you're watching, put your sunglasses on. For you, the future is bright, and the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. With that being said, my name for those folks that care is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this, though. Time is long. Life, on the other hand, is very, very short. You got to live in the moment, and you got to make it count. God bless me. Wish you success. Thanks a lot, by the way. I appreciate it, Jules. We look forward to connect with you. We'll see y'all out of here. We're out of here. Peace. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Thank you. God bless.